Hello, everybody. It's the old bear from the old bear's den of Bigfoot. And right now, we're going to start the show. Here we go. Cover your ears. I hope I didn't blow nobody's eardrums out with the intro. But anyway, tonight we have two wonderful people coming on the show. You know one of them real well. It's Grizzly Chris. And then we have Miss Schelby coming on with us, which is his daughter. And they were at the campout we had back in May in Salt Fork. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. And then we're going to talk about what they expect in August next month. So let's get started. Let's bring them both on. And here comes Grizz.
Well,
And Miss Schelby.
ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Broadcasting live outside Arizona City. Hello there. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. Grizz, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to do this. And if you balk at me any, I'll turn you into a human pretzel.
No comment. I had an accident last night, but no comment.
All right, Grizz. Now, we want the honest truth about this.
Sure.
The camp out we did back in May at Salt Fork.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to know. I've been asked this multiple times, and they need to hear this from the horse's mouth. Did you or did you not fall off from your air mattress into the floor of your tent because of a simple cough?
No, that is not actually true. And so what actually happened, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot forget it so vividly happened. And it started to pour. And the rain was so horrendous. I had a tub of electronics outside the tent. And I'm like, shut the front door. I'm like, it's pouring. And I'm like, is that waterproof or is it not? So I got up, and when I got out of the tent, old bear was in the wood line. He's like, you had a visitor. I'm like, shut the front door, but whatever. You know how you wake up and you feel like you've been drinking all night? And I didn't drink anything. I'm not a drinker. He's like, no, you had a visitor. I'm like, shut the front door. And I was perplexed because it wasn't raining. It was sprinkling. And everybody's like, well, what, is Bigfoot tinkling on your tent? And I'm like, no. Just the tents that I'm accustomed to was those sick canvas tents, the old Coleman style tents, right? And these tents on today's market, when it sprinkles, it sounds like it's downpouring. So I go grab my tub and old bear's strapping. I'm like, And he's like, it was growling. And I'm like, what was growling? He was like, you, the visitor. And it was stomping. I'm like, dude, come on. You quit messing with me, right? So I was so upset it wasn't porn. I was like, screw it. I'm going to go back to bed. You know, it's too early. It was like not even 5 o'clock in the morning. So I heard him entering the camper. And when I heard him go into the camper, you know, I got this queen size air mattress, this plush, what do you call it? A sleeping bag. And I had my long silky stockings and whatever you want to call them. And I was in my warm little fuzzy place. And as I was drifting off into La La Land, I was so relaxed because this was my safe haven, right? I hear the birds chirping, I hear nature, and I start to doze off. And out of nowhere, it sounded like a damn dinosaur. And when I heard that, I was like, what the frick's that? I screamed. And I kicked. And I damn near knocked over my big screen TV in the tent. I fell off the air mattress. I kicked my little table in the tent. And I was like, what the hell? I thought I was going to die. And I'm like freaking out. I mean, it was like right over the top of the tent. I'm like, this is not happening. And I'm trying to find my pew-pew, you know? And I'm like, I'm going to die. And all of a sudden, you hear this calm voice. Grizz, I'm sorry. What the hell? I'm sorry. I had a cough. I'm like, that's not a cough. A cough's like. He goes, I'm sorry, but I had phlegm. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? You try to kill me? I was like, dude, I thought I was gonna die. Then he's like, I'm sorry. I was mad. I was beyond mad because I screamed. And I'm like, man, this ain't. And then I felt bad because I screamed at him. And then it was funny. And I couldn't quit laughing. And I start laughing and it start hurting. I start cramping. And I was like, oh, God, help me. I can't breathe. And then you hear zippers in other people's tents. Like, what's going on over there? I don't know what's going on. Who's laughing? What's so funny? It wasn't funny, but then it was. But then, okay, so this went off about 5 or 10 minutes. You know, I couldn't. The more you try to quit laughing, ladies and gentlemen, the more it was funnier. You know, Bear saying, I'm sorry. I'm like, screw you're sorry, dude. I mean, you give me a heart attack. You know, a cough is. So, all right. So then I get past that. So I'm like, I'm going back to sleep. It cracked, boom, thunder and lightning. And I'm like, screw this. I grab the camera. I jump out of the tent. I'm like, why don't you tell everybody what you just did to Grizzly? And he's like, I'm like, go ahead. I'm awake now. I said, I'm not going to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. He's done. No, I don't think I'm going to die. And let me tell you something. If I did not have that tent staked down, that tent would have been over that hill in the tree line. I joke you not. He made me put extra stakes down when we set it up. Did you or did you not, O'Bear?
Yeah, we put extras in.
Anyway, so that's what happened.
So what you're saying is you did fall off the mattress and
I am lying. Yes, I did. I kicked the shit out of the table too. I kicked it so hard I pulled a muscle. It was one of those donkey kicks.
Shelby and I were in the camper, and I was like, what is that noise out there? And she said, it sounds like my dad laughing. It was just good. It was good. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
So then I had to explain to the whole camp what happened. You know, and then I'm not going to mention her name. She looks at my legs and she rubbed one of my legs. She's like, you have no hair. And then it's shiny. I was like, that's his fault too. You know, he burned all the hair off my leg, ladies and gentlemen. He put Shelby, did he or did he not put that cooking utensil between my legs, and he kept squirting with the charcoal starter fluid. And flames kept getting higher and higher. I couldn't get out of my chair. She was like,
Well, the only reason I done that, Grizz, because you looked like you were famished and about to waste away.
Really? Famished?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a word to use on me. Unbelievable. Dirt roads, that was not fun. When that woman rubbed my leg, she was like, "You don't have any hair." And everybody around the campfire start laughing. They're like, "Damn, you don't." I'm like, "That's his fault."
Yeah, just blame it on the old bear. Get it over with.
I did. I am. I ain't gonna lie. And Shelby's screaming, "Dad, Dad, what am I gonna do? Sprout some wings and fly?" You know, that chair was leaned back and the thing was between my legs and the flames kept getting higher. And she's like, "Well, at least you didn't lose your trademark." I'm like, "What's that?" She said, "Your beard." And I was like,
That would have been bad.
"Yeah, right." So, and I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, everybody talked about Salt Fork, how much activity was there. I didn't believe it. And when I was invited to go, I said, "Yeah," I said, "I'll go and I'll do some filming." It was incredible because the guy, hopefully he's not watching, because I wanted to talk about him and his chicken, 8 feet off the ground. He hung in the tree with a glow stick down in somebody's tent. And as they were arguing that morning, he kept saying, "Just tell me if Bigfoot took the chicken." And the other guy was like, "Well, hell, I'm missing food." He said, "Now I know where the food went to." And I'm like, "Dad, what do? Walk through camp and just start eating everybody's food?" And the guy was like, "Well, evidently he was like what I had last night." And I'm like, "Shut the front door." I'm like, this is not happening. And then when he did the constipated hillbilly call, man, I was like,
That
game.
wasn't a full-fledged constipated hillbilly, Grizz. That wasn't a full-fledged one.
So here I am with cameras, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like watching a tennis game. You know, when they hit the ball, they go. They hit the ball and they go. They hit the ball and they go. So as noises went around camp, that's what everybody was doing. I'm like, "Camera this way, camera this way."
Yeah.
And I forgot my tripods. And old Bear's like, "I got a tripod." My tripod.
And then you dropped the camera on me. And it scared me.
Poor Shelby was sitting there around the campfire, ladies and gentlemen. And the tripod old Bear had was for cell phones, not for actual camera equipment. So I leaned in the chair and I bumped his tripod and the camera fell on Shelby. She thought she was going to die. She thought she was getting attacked by Bigfoot. But I tell you this, the first night we heard the tree knocks, right? And that one at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was like, "Damn, that's a hell of a tree knock." I was like, I don't know if that was human or not, because it was like thud.
So that had to be Babe Ruth.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. And then when Josh and them were doing the caster, teaching everybody how to cast prints of Bigfoots and preserve them, I'm sitting here, and this is like a 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I hear the Ohio howl. I can't even say it. Ohio howl. And I'm like, and everybody's just talking. And I'm like, are y'all not listening to this? This is in broad daylight. And it's non-human because I counted up to 17 seconds. Oh, yeah, it's not human. And Josh is like, "Oh, he hears something." I'm like, "Damn right I hear something." He goes, "I hear it too." I was like, and you know, I got some good mics on my equipment. It didn't pick it up. It did not pick it up. It was a good ways off. Yeah, it was. But that was impressive. But not only that is the geese at night. Geese do not act like that when you did some of the calls. And everybody's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, that's not a goose. I'm over there on YouTube. I'm like, listening to different animal sounds. And somebody's like, "You hear that?" And then Dirt Road Bigfoot, he looked at me and goes, "Oh, did you hear that, Grizzly?" I'm like, "Nope, I didn't hear jack." I didn't hear nothing. Nope, that was behind us. It's walking up the hill. I didn't hear nothing. Nope. And but it was amazing because everybody was just like nothing. And then people that came down to the campsite to say hello to us, and that was people that watch the show, and Angela, her co-host, and her dad. And they're like, "Oh yeah, everybody knows about Bigfoot. I've been hunting here all my life," and I'm just like, and then the newspapers and the park publishes stuff about it, but Bigfoot don't exist, right? So that's ironic. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, this one is your birthday. I got some tassels. So did you hear her go? Ah.
That image alone, if you put tassels on, oh Lord.
Sorry, Shelby. Welcome everybody in the chat. Hey Val, hey Barb, hey Amy. Hello everybody. Brian Barber, Leonard. But yeah. No, it's gonna be off the wall. You know, we're gonna be doing some more filming. A lot of other people that never thought about coming to Salt Fork is supposed to be showing up. And it's great. And we had this one guy that lives down there, and I never forget it because he was like, "We've got something around our house. We don't know what it is. Can I play something for you?" And I was over in front of Old Bear and his wife's camper, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll listen to it. You know, I'm pretty accurate when it comes to sound." And he played that sound. I looked at Old Bear. I was like, "Oh, snap." He's like, "What is it?" And I was like, "I haven't heard that in years." And Old Bear listened to it. And he's like, and we played it on one of the shows, and people are like, "That's a dinosaur." I was like, "That's not a dinosaur."
No.
I know what that sound is. And it's just, it's crazy, right? And the activity down there, the interactions, Bigfoot coming up to vehicles, touching the vehicles, leaving prints, taking food, walking through camp. Your wife and that one year seeing the juveniles playing around in front of your camper and eat your yellow lights, you know? I mean, it's like we are at the zoo and we're the animals.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Yeah, and we're their entertainment. And
That's right.
It's just crazy. Now Shelby refused to sleep in the tent with me, which I didn't care, right?
We got room for her again.
Yeah.
She's like, Dad. She's like, "I'm sorry, but I'm not sleeping in that tent." I'm like, "Why?" Nope, I'm not doing it.
Do it, but there's no way I could have done it. There's no way.
Now, Shelby, now tell the truth, honey. It's because of your dad snoring is the reason you want to sleep in there.
Really?
The same.
He does snore pretty loud.
Shelby.
It's the same reason that Bigfoot come over to see what sawmill was cutting down what trees.
Shut the front door.
I gotta pick on you, buddy. I mean,
that's funny. That's funny.
That Bigfoot come over there that morning simply because you were outside snoring and I was outside building a fire.
You was not building a fire. You was in the tree line, and when I came out, you looked like a kid got caught in the cookie jar.
That was after it growled, stomped its feet, both feet, because I think it either was paying a lot of attention to you in the tent snoring and me out there building a fire. There's a reason it tripped and it stomped its feet, and then it stood up mostly erect, no more than what they normally do. They still had that lean and the knees bent.
Right.
And it was standing there behind that bush looking right dead at me when I stood up and turned around and looked at it. And I started towards it. I don't care. What's it going to do? Try to eat me? Not a very good thing.
I would have ran in the opposite direction. I would have.
No, you wouldn't have. You'd have done the same thing I would. Don't let him fool you, people. He's got a pair the size of freaking grapefruits. Don't let him lie to you.
Yeah, standing stones. My snoring was grapefruit. What? No. What? Anyways, I am. So, I just understood that. So I told people at the camp. I fought some bad people in life on the department. I have wrestled and tested with people that you do not want to even look at, ladies and gentlemen. And I never been scared. But that morning that I thought that King Atua was over my tent getting ready to eat me, you know. What? Yeah, I did. I thought I was gonna die. And then he was like, I'm sorry, and I was like, wait, anyways. But it did. It
Well,
just
I was trying to be quiet because there's 30 other people here. I didn't want to wake everybody up. But with you, and you underestimated the amount of time that you were laughing. It's more like 15 minutes constant of hysterical laughing, as loud as he can be. Everybody in the campground was asleep
that they were.
except for me and Grizz. Grizz
Yeah.
woke everybody up.
Yeah. You know what? First impressions was everything that weekend, being the new person down there, like, what the hell? But ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't the only one that was not, or only one that was not scared, because the people across the road didn't know what the hell that, whatever the hell was. But it was just awful. But I mean, it's all fun now, and it's weird because somebody was just like, "How long ago was that when your hair got burnt off your legs?" And I'm like, they're growing back, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming. Just taking a little while.
Yeah.
So,
So Grizz, let me ask the little lady a question.
okay.
Shelby,
Yes.
tell us the one thing that sticks out of your mind about that weekend.
I think it's the noise that me and your wife heard. Like, I can't remember if it was the second day. Remember, it was at like 2 a.m. and I thought it was like a knock.
That was Friday night.
Okay, because I've never had any encounters. Yeah, I live in Kentucky and everything, but I'm not near any wooded area really. I'm kind of in the city, and so when I heard that, it was like, what is that? And I honestly got scared. Like I freaked out. But I think when I think about the weekend, it honestly was that. And then when you did the calls and we heard what we thought at first was geese, but then I really don't believe it was. From how off the sounds were, there's no way that was geese, honestly.
Yeah. So geese do not sound like that at night. They usually are very quiet unless they are disturbed or being attacked by a predator. However, the geese, if you want to call it that, were surrounding the camp. And it was very close, not down by the water, is what people are like, well, that's closer than the water. And it's like, yeah, I know that. And that's when Dirt Road Bigfoot, or Dirt Road, was like, did you hear that, Grizzly? I'm like, nope, I didn't hear nothing. Nope, I'm good. So, because people were like on edge for a minute because it was so quiet. And then all of a sudden, we heard, I can't even replicate it, but it was just weird. And that's why I was on YouTube trying to gather sounds that geese would make. And I went through all the sounds that was, because I never heard. And we had geese in Lexington, Shelby, outside of our building and by the pond. And we used to feed them all the time. So we know what geese are and we know what geese sound like. But it's an everyday occurrence down there with Salt Fork, with people that live there, people that go there. They're like, yeah, it happens. We get activity, we get fingerprints, tracks, we get weird sounds. And it was like a plethora of things, right? People go out in the woods for years and not even get anything with sounds, tree knocks or vocals or animal sounds that are not the actual animals. And it was something every day, every night, and it was nonstop. And ladies and gentlemen, if you never slept in a tent out in the middle of the woods or a park, you hear everything. And that's why I like, on one of my intros is like, is that a chipmunk? Because it's funny, because sounds magnify, right? And our minds go to the worst or think it's Bigfoot right away when it's not. You get deer, you get possums, you get raccoons and whatnot. It comes through camp and goes through trash. But our mind processes things different. Our anxiety, our mind wanders. And, when we talk to people that go out and investigate these beings or creatures, however you want to call them, stop and think what else is out there in the woods. A lot of people don't know what foxes sound like, what kind of sounds they can make, and other animals. And if you never heard that before, it will rock your world, ladies and gentlemen. It will make you think that something's out there is going to eat you. And I get a lot of those animal calls that are sent to me on a regular basis. Like, what is this? And I was like, oh, that's fox. And I would send them another call, off YouTube where they can process it and listen to it. So yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the scary thing is not knowing what it is out there. Like, it's the unknown that freaks me out. It's like, what is that? And then my mind just continues to like race on, continues on.
Right. But Shelby, I told you that, that weekend, I talked to you a little bit about it. And the thing of it is, every noise you hear, if there's an explanation of a normal animal, don't pay attention to it. If you think it's a deer walking, it's a deer. If you think it's a coon squalling or an owl hoot, there's nuances about every call that every animal makes that Bigfoot can do.
Absolutely.
But the problem with Bigfoot, they're in the basement and their normal animal is up higher. If it sounds like it's, like that goose, that was the bonnet goose.
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
It wasn't. That was
weird.
not a normal goose call. Remember, because that call stayed one tone the whole time.
Right. It didn't change.
That it was doing it, and it sounded like it was standing right there at the edge of the woods.
Right.
Yes.
And it would circle us. Half moon.
And
Come back.
that creature was over the bank. That creature was well over 100 yards away from us, making that noise at that volume. So it's not a goose. But when you hear sounds at night, if you think you can say, okay, that's an owl, or that's a bob white, or that's a pheasant getting disturbed, something kicked the pheasant up, because there's pheasants there at Salt Fork. Or if you think it's a squirrel, because if it's a moonlit night, squirrels get out and move around a little bit. They don't come out of the trees, but they move around. And there's a multitude of animals. And all you got to do is, because you were pretty much attached to my wife that Saturday night, and I'm not picking on you. I'm glad, I'm happy that you had someone that could sit there with you and tell you not to worry about it. But that was the reason when I did those calls, I explained to everybody, stay seated. Don't get up. If you get up and take off running and a creature sees you, it's going to come after you. Then I got to interject myself between you and it. And it's not because I'm afraid of being harmed. It's because I don't want you hurt. So sitting there with my wife, if my wife says, well, that could be a Bigfoot, you don't have nothing to worry about, honey, because I'm the one that's standing up. I'm its focal point. That's the reason I had everybody sit in chairs. And I've been doing it long enough to know that if you're standing there, they pick you out first. And here's something else I'm going to make sure of. On that Saturday night, I will be wearing a bright red shirt. They don't like red, so they will focus on me only, nobody else. Because I plan on either blowing my voice out Saturday night with calls, and we're going to have a meeting on that day at 4:00. Your dad, you, all the other ones that are going to be going with us that night, we're all going to have dinner, and I hope you love brown beans and cornbread.
I do.
Okay, good. Don't worry, I'm not cooking, Grizz. It's the wife. She's the cook of the family, brother.
The stuff that we had last time was outstanding. The food, the biscuits were off the chart. You know, I can still taste them right now because they weren't. She's laughing. I'm a country boy. I know what biscuits are, but these were biscuits. I never had these biscuits before, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, Salt Fork is. I never expected so much to happen in a short amount of time. And it was just like, because people were actually, you know, contacting me on the way home, messaging me, Shelby knows. And when I got home, they're like, was it really that much off the chain? And I'm like, do you never see me? I never exaggerate anything. I never blow things out of proportion. And I was like, I was actually astonished about how much. I was never even expecting anything nowhere near what we've actually encountered and heard and so forth. I mean, that was just crazy. And so, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is a hot spot and very interesting. And it did, you know, prosper and flourish. So absolutely.
Okay, Grizz.
Yes, sir.
This next time, what do you, I mean, when we go there in August, next month, that's what, about 4 weeks from now when we go?
About 4 weeks, yes, sir.
So what do you expect or would like to happen over that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
So when people ask me that question, I answer it this way. You never expect anything because you never know what is or will not happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that way on investigations or outings, when something does not happen, you're okay with it. You're not going to be let down and have high expectations. I mean, you cannot make things happen on demand. And same thing with paranormal investigations, with spirits and ghosts, whatever else you want to call it. However that may be, I'm open. I know what equipment to bring this time and some other stuff and tripods. So, yeah, but I'm going to be prepared. So, absolutely.
Okay, Shelby, you're on the hot seat. What do you want to happen or do you would like to happen at this next outing?
Well,
since you're a seasoned professional.
Right. So because I haven't ever seen one, and like I know you can't, like most people that have seen them, it's not like a full figure, it's maybe like a face, maybe they saw something move. Like I hope I could get something like that. So I can, like, even though it's still gonna be a little unknown, I just want to know, like, what is it? Like the pictures that you've shown me, I try and put something into my head, like what, you know, it looks like that, but I wish I could see it so I could actually know, okay, it looks like this. You know what I mean? But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Because I'm sure we'll still get some sort of, you know, noise, tree knocking, or even like the calls we had before. But I think if I saw something, that would be cool.
Okay.
And I'll say this, you know, because a lot of people always ask what they look like. I don't think any one of the two ever look the same, like humans, right? And I think they look different in parts of the country and in a part of the world as well. And people have to understand that. And you know, people say they look like apes or monkeys, you know, and they're like, well, they're not apes or monkeys. Well, that's what humans and human beings resonate with when they see these things because of the characteristics that they show. It's not saying they are, but it just resembles. And that's why on our shows and platforms, I have a chart with different types of Bigfoot. So people can be like, oh my God, that's number 13. And it's freaking me out. Because now I'm back to that morning or that night, you know, where I had my encounter. Because I want to see, as you're talking to people on different shows and platforms, where they live, where they had their encounter, and what did it look like? You know, describe it. And a person, a human being, can only describe so much when it comes to fine details. But when you have pictures, then their descriptions and details are enhanced, and it takes them back, and they flash back to that encounter. And then they remember more now than they did when they were witnessing it, because you got to understand, you know, everybody tells us across the world, in our government, it doesn't exist, or it's figment of imagination. You know, law enforcement, DNR, it's just a bear on the loose, a bear that escaped the circus. You know, we're beyond all this, right? I mean, we're so far past that, it's unbelievable. I think we talked about this sitting around the campfire. Why isn't it officially on paper? It is on paper. There are states that you cannot harm these creatures or humans, and it's capital murder. If they didn't believe this, then they wouldn't put those on law books in different states. And same thing in Florida about the skunk ape. That's what they're called down there, right? Depends on the size and the area or the country where they come from. They have different nicknames. So when a law person from that state, the senator, whatever, passes these laws, and we talk about this, they have to have a definition of that animal or creature to protect it. And when we called the Fish and Wildlife or FWC or whatever it is in Florida, and I asked them for that definition, they're like, oh, hell no, we ain't telling you what that is, because that phone call is being recorded and they're not going on record to acknowledge that because they didn't know who I was. Yeah, we were live. We were broadcasting live. And it was hysterical because I wanted to know. I told them I'm going to Florida. I'm going to go hunting. What's a skunk ape? I don't want to shoot one, you know? And they're like, so, yeah. So when you think about stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen, they are acknowledging things do exist. Look at Mount St. Helens when it blew. I found a woman off TikTok. She was younger, and her brother witnessed these helicopters with these creatures in the cargo nets. And everybody said it did not happen. Yeah, it did happen because the people didn't know what it was until after the fact. It's not like they flew over and like, look, we got Bigfoot. Blah, 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 blah. And it's because they made a mistake and people were seeing what was happening. And the government stepped in and was like, you can't do that. You know, we gotta change this right away. And they covered it up. And now you got people that are adults now acknowledging, yes, we know what it is and we saw it. And yes, it did happen. You know, they get hit by vehicles. They get shot by hunters. I mean, we can go on and on about this. You know, we hear hunters. I was going to shoot it until I looked into its face and it was human. You know, looked like a Cherokee Indian because the leathery face, the texture, and it looked at me with its eyes, and I didn't know what to do. And there's some cases to where people emptied their firearm out, lever action, a bolt action rifle, and then when they go back, they never fired a shot. They just cycled the bolt or cycled the lever, thinking they're actually shooting. So that's high indication of stress and fear, and not realizing they're not actually pulling that trigger. And we see this in shootings, you know, with law enforcement. How many rounds you fire? Hell, if I know. You know, I was going to die. You know, I'd squeeze the trigger until the threat stopped. And so, you know, you got to stop and think about that. And I've actually witnessed, you know, in law enforcement to where somebody's in a stress of emergency and they could not dial 911. And you're screaming at them, dial 911, and they would dial 119 or something off the wall. And it's like, it's not working. It's not working. It's 3 numbers, ladies and gentlemen, 911, 3 numbers. But under high stressful situations, our minds cannot process that, and our dexterity skills go out the window. And that's very important to understand. So when we talk to people that encounters Bigfoot, Sasquatch, however you want to count or call them, there's things that we look for in conversations, in articulations of their encounters, if they're being truthful or not. Old Bear and I, we talk. We're like, man, this guy's so full of, you know what? It's awful. But we're not going to go out there on record and be like, don't trust this guy. You know, you say everybody wants to get famous. And we talked about this the other day. And it's like, there's not money to be made in this field, ladies and gentlemen. I think I spend a whole lot more on equipment and going places than I do actually making money. Is that not fair to say, Old Bear?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so the biggest thing that I've found is when I talk to people and they've had an encounter with one of these creatures, and I've talked to multiple people over the years, up there in Ohio, where we're going, they call it a grass man. Well, there's a reason they call it a grass man. because it lived out in the grass plains in Ohio, but then it also lives in the woods. And around Salt Fork, it's known as the grassman. You're not hunting Bigfoot. You're not hunting Sasquatch. You're looking for grassman. There's old farmers up there. They don't know those other words. All they know is grassman
Or booger.
and they've seen them. And there's subtle differences in all these Bigfoot. When somebody says they seen one that looked like a gorilla, okay, I've seen the ape type, the type that resembles more of an animal, like chimpanzees or orangs. Looks like a gorilla in the face. I've seen those types. And then there's people, they talk about, well, I couldn't shoot it. Why not? You had the crosshairs right between its eyes. Why couldn't you shoot the thing? Because it looked like another human being. It's got our nose. It's got our cheekbones, our jawline. The only difference is they're covered in hair. It just has a human face.
Right.
And I've talked to people that, that have seen the bad ones and they've made it out. Well, that thing looked like a demon that come out of the pits of hell. Well, you're lucky to be alive, because if they'd have seen you, you wouldn't be here. So when it comes to a Bigfoot, there's multiple types of Bigfoot out there. I list 5 of them. They all kind of fit in 5 groups for me. And that's just me. But everybody else might have 8, 9, 10 different groups, just depending upon what they've seen. But a male Bigfoot and a female Bigfoot get together and they have a little one. The little one resembles mommy and daddy, just like we do. And I understand the fact that people, and I applaud you for putting pictures together and them being able to look at them. Stuff like that helps people out. I guess I'm kind of old school, take notes, and I'm no artist, but I can picture what they're seeing because I've seen them before. And little differences in their face is just a genetic thing. But it's fun to go up there and do what we do. We go up there, we have good food, we have great, awesome company. We have a great time together. And if we see a Bigfoot, yay. If we don't see a Bigfoot, yay. If Shelby sees the little ones, that's awesome. We don't want to scare Shelby completely off with her having to look at a big, ugly alpha male that's in an upset mood. I don't want to do that. But I do want to do everything that I know possible to make sure that we get responses to calls, whether it's tree breaks, if they throw little pebbles and stuff at us, that's fine. I don't care. It's a reaction from them to what I do, to the calls that I make. And we got on lineup a new caller, and you know him, Grizz, and Dirt Road Bigfoot's coming. He's going to do some calls. He's been learning.
Awesome.
And so, it's to get together and have fun. That's why
Right.
I want to do it, and that's why we're doing it on my birthday weekend. It's not about me. It's about you guys. I mean, I'll do everything in my power to get them to come around the campground, through the campground, or if we're all in cars and we're out there and one walks across the road and we get it on video. I don't care. It's not about that. It's about having my friends with me, people that we love, you know, everybody says, well, you can't love Grizz. Yeah, you can. Grizz is one heck of a guy. Miss Shelby,
you know,
she's an awesome young lady. Uh,
I don't know why people are afraid. And once you know me, I'm a down to earth person. You know, I know I stay busy a lot and do a lot of things behind the scenes, but I got a big heart. A lot of people don't get to see that because I'm so busy. And when they ask a question, you got to remember, you know, I was instilled a certain way with my career and how I do things. You know, I don't answer or reply like an average person. It's no hard feelings to anybody. And, you know, I may say hello different than Old Bear and his wife does. And I may
mhm,
answer in a text message, you know. And we had this conversation before the show with somebody like, you know, hopefully I didn't do anything wrong. Hopefully you're not mad at me. I don't get mad, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you're human, you make a mistake, you make a mistake. We're human beings,
mhm,
right? Only thing I always ask anybody affiliated with us or our platform or our shows, you got to be professional, and you also have to have morals, and your character's got to be, you know, pretty high, because we're dealing with the public, and there's an image
right,
that we have to maintain, and that's just the way I am. You know, I will do anything for anybody, and I've actually shown that, but when it comes to drama and other stuff, not around me
right,
or our station. I won't tolerate it. I won't endure it or anything. And everybody that's with us knows that too. And the ones that doesn't are no longer with us. And we don't talk
right,
about that. You know, they come and go. It is what it is. But, you know, you got a reputation you got to uphold. And when you're dealing with the public, with people that are traumatized by these encounters, they come to you for a reason. And I was always told when I was younger, if people like you, they will listen to you. If people trust you, they will do business with you. And that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when I watch these other shows with people, uh, and they tell their encounter, and then they're getting made fun of by the co-host and the host, that's not professional. You know, I don't do other people's shows because I don't believe in their ethics and how they handle their shows. But that's just me. You're never gonna know who that is. And when Old Bear wanted me to come on, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You know, I've never done it for you. You always do it for us and everybody that's affiliated with me. And it's like, yeah, let's knock it out. Let's have some fun.
Old
but
Bear is probably the realest out there.
well, thank you.
Old Bear would tell you to your face. Me, I just smile and grin and just keep walking. So I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen that in action. Absolutely. Oh, I mean, a little twisted. It's the only way to be. You know, it's just you're dealing with people that are traumatized, and I don't think people understand that. And when they fabricate these encounters, we had one on our show. I'm not gonna tell you who it was, and man, I went after this person, and they were like, "Stop it! You better not." And I was just like, "Man!" And this person knew exactly what I was doing, and the person's never been back either. There's reasons, you know. I'm not gonna entertain your circus. But if you got a true encounter or a story that you need to get off your chest, then yeah, Old Bear's got a platform. We got a platform. Yeah, we'll support you and help you. But out here to make money and to make a name of yourself, not me. I'm not going to help you. Sorry.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, that's something that me and you've talked about extensively.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
um, you know, I come on here and I don't make money from YouTube. I don't make money from anybody. I won't accept money from anyone. And because when I started this channel, it was simply because I was sick and tired of seeing all these other channels that are out here that bring on people that blatantly are telling a lie. Um, and the way they describe these creatures it's a standard description. They've listened to other channels and combined 5 or 6 different encounters, and then they saw this Bigfoot that was 12 foot tall and bulletproof, and what kind of liquor were you drinking that night? But the reason I do it is simply because it's meant to help everyone, not just, all of my friends. My subscribers are my friends. Any of them could pick up the phone or send me an email, and I answer them. It's for the fact of the matter is the truth needs to come out about these creatures. People need to understand that, they might be nice to you for 5, 10 years, 12 years, 20 years, whatever. But you do one wrong thing in their eyes, and they don't take that very well.
Right.
They get a temper. It's like dealing with a 2-year-old. I've said this multiple times. I've said it on your channel, Grizz.
Yeah, you
You
have.
take a favorite toy away from a 2-year-old, what do you get? You get a major tantrum. I've took a toy away from my kids. Oh my gosh. You want to just pick them up, take them to the wall and go, when you're done, I'll let you down. But
Right.
I mean, stuff like that. But I do it to be honest, and I do this because it needs to be done. There's way too many people out there that, Bigfoot's a fake, or they seen the Patterson Gimlin film. Oh, that's a fake. That's a person in a suit. Sorry, they couldn't make a suit like that back then.
No.
They can do it today, but they couldn't do it back then. And get all the muscle structure and everything else, and the bone structure completely right. That is 100% a female Bigfoot. Period. You can try to break it down, do whatever, tear it up all you want, but you're not going to get past the fact that was an actual Bigfoot. And there's other Bigfoot been videoed. And people want to poo-poo all this evidence. You got tracks, you've got scat, you've got hair samples, you've got pictures, you've got videos of these creatures, but yet science won't take that to be truthful. And I do it mainly for people like Shelby. She's never been Bigfooting before. May was her first time. And I don't want people scared of them, because most of the ones you're going to run into, they're not going to have a problem with you. They're going to turn and walk away. And that's what they all do. They don't stand there and just watch you and look at you and start drilling at the mouth and looking at you like a pork chop. They just see you, see human, walk away. They don't want anything to do with us.
That's right.
And, very rarely do you run into a bad one that might look at you like a pork chop. You're not going to have to worry about that. But you need to have that in the back of your mind, too. And that's why I do it. And that's why Grizz does it. He wants people to be informed. And especially now that his daughter has caught the bug, it seems, she's willing to come back for round 2, and I'm proud of her. I know Grizz is too.
Oh, absolutely.
But she's the reason I do this. If she's got fears, I want to quell them. I want to keep them. I want her to be aware, but not afraid. It's a great thing to see a Bigfoot. The problem is, it's a shock. Whether you see little ones or you see the big ones, it's a shock to your system. Because all your life you've been told, there ain't no such thing as Bigfoot. I'm pretty sure Shelby can attest to that. You've been told how long? 20-some years?
Yeah, 20 years.
So, That's why we do this. It's because I like helping people like Shelby. And I've got a great friend in Grizz. And I'll tell you plainly and simply, if you want to badmouth Grizz, you better turn around because I'll be standing there. And whether I'm doing this on YouTube or not, and that's a decision to be made in the next month. Whether I'm doing this or not, Grizz picks up the phone and says, "Hey, can you come do my show?" Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah, you always have, each and every time.
I've only told him no once, and that was because of my job. I had to leave town, and I couldn't be there at that time.
Yep.
So, Shelby, I got a question for you.
Okay.
And now your dad will be able to understand what we were discussing earlier. Are you bringing the supersized box of Depends for your dad?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you all? Really? I'm not Joe Biden. I got good memory, and unbelievable. Y'all crack me up.
Grizz.
That's what we were talking
You know
about.
I love
Evidently. Matey. I'm gonna let you live that one down.
Hey, that's gone. This house, it's almost 100%. It's at 90% and finishing
good.
out.
That's good.
But Shelby, you're going to stay with us in our camper, right?
Right.
Those nights.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna put and bells on strings.
Why would you need that? You got me for protection.
What the hell were you ready for protection? I was gonna die that morning. You were out in the damn wood line like a kid got caught in a candy jar. Like, oh, like what are you doing?
That's because
You
I
had
was
a
putting
visitor.
myself between it and you.
Here he's up here in the weeds and in the briar bushes. What are you doing? You had a visitor. Whatever. Stop it. But yeah,
Well,
that was
sorry.
funny.
If it wasn't for the fact of you being sound asleep, you would have heard it and seen it.
Yeah, you
That's why I get up
kick
early.
the hell out of my TV stand and that little table, and I come rolling off that air mattress. Josh knows. He heard me.
Hell yeah.
So did the women. So did the women across that road. They didn't know what the hell was going on.
Josh fell off the picnic table.
Yeah.
I know, right?
He was laughing so hard.
I wasn't. What do you mean he was laughing? He was scared doo-dooless. He didn't know what
Oh,
that was.
no.
Oh,
the only one in the whole campground that was scared at that point in time was you, Grizz, because you thought Bigfoot was standing over top of you, about ready to turn you into a human burrito. That is exactly what.
I was a man, and I told everybody I thought I was going to die. I mean, I did. It felt like the tent moved, and it was staked. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. When a human being coughs, that's a cough.
That's not a cough. That is not a cough.
I don't know what kind of doctor you go see, but that's a cough.
Hey, I have to take a physical every year, man. They tell you to turn your head and cough.
Every 90 days, I get a physical. They're working. Go ahead, Sandra. It's funny now. It wasn't that morning.
Yeah, it is. It was funny every morning.
Going into your warm and fuzzy place, and you're starting to drift. And all of a sudden, you freaking Godzilla shows up standing over your tent. I'm sorry, Grizzly. I had a cough. That's what fired me up, because that wasn't a cough. Then he's like, I had phlegm. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? You trying to kill me? Then I felt so bad. Then I did start laughing. Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
This is what gets me excited for August because I just like I want to know what's gonna happen. Like you're probably gonna get scared. I'm gonna get scared.
Hell, a camera fell on you and you jumped.
Well, she was already scared because there was something that was going around the campground.
There was.
There was a tree break. There was the bionic goose that there was no way that was a goose because it was in the basement the whole time in the vocal range. And it sounded like it was 10 feet from us.
Yeah, I did.
And it was coming from over 100 yards away.
It was really crazy.
I mean,
Really.
I can understand why Shelby was a little bit apprehensive or scared. And my wife was a little bit bothered about it too. That noise was freaking her out too. She wouldn't tell you that,
Yeah,
but I can look at her face.
everybody was brave that night. They're like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is," but they hear a twig break and they're like,
yeah.
Oh, camera, it's coming out of the woods. They're like, "Nah, we're good." But yeah, to hear things break and stuff walking around, that changed the dynamics of everything. And I should have focused more on the people around the campfire with the cameras, because to watch those facial expressions as stuff walked and moved around, they're like, yeah, it was a natural reaction, and some of them were like, and the ones that smoked, it was like chitty chitty bang bang. Another one.
Oh no! It looked like a steam train, a coal-fired train pulling a mountain grade out somewhere in the Rockies. That's
Some
what it
people
looked like.
Went from lighting it with the lighter from end to end.
Oh.
I'm like, damn, I can't film that, right? I can't air that on the show. But it was like one right after another, and I was like, damn, how many butts they got down there? Let's count. That's 8 right there.
Yeah.
It was funny. Like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. I'm like, whoa, I see you smoking over there. So it was funny. It was.
But, Shelby, she was a trooper. She was leaned over, next to my wife.
She was
because she was afraid. Well, no, she wasn't.
That's okay.
She was sitting in her own chair.
I know.
But she was pretty close. I'll give you that.
Little buddies.
And
ladies and gentlemen, if old bear's starting dinner, just stay away from the fire. If not, you're going to be hairless like I am. So,
well, you don't have to worry. We gave Saturday afternoon. Icebox is going to be the grill master. We're going to make him do the grill, so you don't have to worry. But now Thursday and Friday night, it's up for interpretation.
I love to cook. I do not mind cooking. I love to cook, but that was funny. So, Dirt Road, wear pants. I'm just telling you, be prepared. Poor Shelby. Dad. I'm like, I can't get up. I can't get out of
He just sat there.
Well, he had nothing to worry about. It wasn't going to catch anything on fire. Nothing important anyway.
You scorched me.
Well, the hair on your legs ain't important.
Charcoal fluid. What's wrong, Grizzly? What's wrong? Like, let go of that bottle. Let go of that bottle. He kept squirting it. I was like, damn. Unbelievable. But you know what? If you're not anticipating going, I really suggest you go out there and check us out. I mean, I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Thomas is going to be there. I think Brian Barber is going to try to be there. And I mean, you're going to meet some good folks, whether anything happens or not.
Don't forget, Gwen's supposed to try to come.
Right.
And then
Nance. Possibly.
Nance is going to try to come again. And then Tony Green's going to try to come, bring his wife. And there's some other Bigfooters that are coming. And I mean, we're going to have a great time doing this. It's going to be fun. We're going to go Bigfooting Thursday night. We're going to go Friday night. And then Saturday, there's just going to be, a select group that's going on Saturday night. I mean, it doesn't stop anybody that comes from going out. It's just on Saturday night, I want to take certain people with me, and anybody that wants to come down and eat, no matter what we're cooking, you're more than welcome to come down and eat. I don't have no problem at all. But I do want to have a meeting on Saturday afternoon with everybody that's coming. And Miss Schelby, we're going to make sure that you're not scared on Saturday night. You don't have to worry about anything. I will be there to protect you and your dad. And everyone else is there.
Wait a minute here. What do you mean, and your dad?
Let me put it to you this way.
I'm listening.
You and Shelby, listen to me, Grizz. This is the plan. My wife gets in on the driver's side.
Your wife. Okay.
Stop, Grizz. This is if
you crack
if things start going south on Saturday night, if something they get too aggressive or whatever,
what do you
my
mean
wife
too
gets
aggressive?
in on
What
the
are you gonna
drivers.
do?
Well, you're going to get a full-fledged constipated hillbill, full
I'm gonna get
volume,
hazed.
full growl. I'm going to be antagonistic as is all I can be.
Shelby, we're bringing the big firepower. Oh my God, this is gonna be great.
So
look at old
if
Bear.
anything happens, I want my wife to get in the back seat of my truck, slide all the way across. Shelby, you get in the middle, and Grizz, you're the last one in that door.
Are you crazy? What do you mean I'm the last? I should be the first person, not the.
Why would you need to be first? I don't want you shooting my window out if one walks up to the side of the truck.
Oh, hey, let me tell you something. We're all going to be deaf if that happens.
Well, yeah. He does carry a big gun.
Hey, more than one, ladies and gentlemen. So don't punk me out. So,
but anyway, it's not Grizz, and it's not a personal attack. I know what these things can do and how quick they can be. And I want your safety, your daughter's safety, my wife's safety is paramount to me. Everybody else is there. Their safety is more important to me than my own. The last person getting in a vehicle will be me. And the reason is I've dealt with them. I've put up with them. I've been charged. I've been screamed at from 10 feet away in my face, trying to intimidate me. Don't work.
Yeah, I'd pass out.
Me
and
too.
that's and it ain't. It's nothing against you, my buddy. It's not one thing against you. I know you got my back. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But getting my back that night is making sure that little lady right there and this one right here are in the truck. That's all I ask of you. Make sure they are in the truck and they're covered. That's all I need.
Liana, this is a hold your beer moment. We're going to smack the hell out of Bigfoot and take off running. Watch. I don't feel good about this, old bear. I'm just saying.
Well,
look at him. Give me that look.
What size steaks do you want?
I never had Bigfoot.
Well, neither have I. I've not eaten one. But if you want steaks, and if they get too aggressive, we can probably cut a few of them off.
Unbelievable.
I don't want to go that far, but
I'll tell you, it's really interesting because when you do your calls, they're really good, and they are compared to the ones we hear out there on the internet and on TV shows. But you never know what can and cannot happen. But it seems like the more the people, the less afraid they are. So,
yeah,
absolutely. But I'm looking forward for the trip.
Me too.
So I'm glad both of you are coming because I love you both, and I always have fun when I'm with Grizz and Miss Schelby. You are you're like one of my kids. When I look at you, and I just have a ball sitting there watching you interact with your dad and interact with my wife, and it's a fun time.
It is a fun time.
Come August, be ready for anything. And Grizz, bring all your stuff with you want. We'll use it all.
You know me, brother. I don't travel light, and that's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Bear was like, "Damn, we going to war." I'm like, I'm just prepared.
You're not using the same tent, are you?
What do you mean I'm not using the same tent? What does that mean? What y'all do? Did y'all mark it?
We could not get it apart.
What do you mean you couldn't get it apart?
We couldn't fold it up.
I was getting so mad. Instead of out. We're not out instead of in.
I was there. We got it unfolded and put back together, honey.
Well, with your help, yeah, but I can't do that.
We're still live, Shelby. We can talk about this after the show.
Wait a minute. Now this is your daughter has a point. I told you not to burn.
Oh, I cannot mute you. I don't have no power to mute you. This is your show. No wonder you're still talking. I was muting myself. I was like, "You're still talking." I love doing that to people on my show.
But it's there's instructions in that box that we took the tent out of for a reason, Grizz. You're supposed to sit down and read it.
I'm messing with you. No, we saved the instructions. So, ladies and gentlemen, Thomas and I, on the last trip in LBL, we went to put our tent together. We were like, "What the hell? I mean, is this like in Chinese or something?" And we couldn't do it. We had to get Gary and them to come over. And Gary's like, "Oh, you need to put this here, put that here, put that here, put that in the ground and stretch it out." And blah. And I'm like, "You shut the front door, dude, really?" And then my buddy Greg that does the filming, right? He comes down there, and Thomas and I are like, "Hey, Greg, you need some help putting your tent together?" And he looks at us like, "Nah, I'm good." And we're laughing. We're like, "The hell you are, dude. You're going to need help." And not even 5 minutes later, we look, his tent's put together. We're like, "Shut the front door." I'm like, "How'd you do that?" He goes, "It's a pop-up tent." I was like, "What's that?" I didn't know. He's like, "Just go online and look at it." So we went to leave LBL. I was like, "Hey, Gary, you want a brand new tent?" Gary's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." I gave him 2 tents. And I went out and got me a pop-up tent so I can put it up together myself. Now, I got a confession before you end the show. You ready for this?
Okay. Yeah.
This is bad. Shelby, this is bad. Old Bear, this is bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I love different races. I just want to throw it out there. So we went to get a manicure done. And Anne was like, "Hey, you got those Bigfoot calls? I want to play it for the owner of 5 and 5 Nail Dive." I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, a samurai chatter, and so she plays the sounds. I forgot they're all Vietnamese or Chinese. They were talking in their language. And I'm like, yeah, that's not good. She's like, you got any other sounds? I'm like, sure. So I was like, yeah, Shelby, it was bad. I wasn't thinking, and I'm like, yeah, it's samurai chatter. She goes, it sounds human. I'm like, samurai chatter. And yeah, anyways. Look at old bear.
They'll probably never schedule me for a nail appointment again.
I didn't mean nothing by it. I mean, I thought everybody knows Ron Moritz.
I've been going there for years. Now I'm never going to be allowed to go there again.
Look at Shelby. So I told her, and I told her next time you go, put it on Google Translate and just put your phone down in front of them, see what they're saying. Yeah. I felt so bad because you're trying to explain what's going on, and then when they were like, "Guys, I'm at you," and I'm like, "Oh, smack! Did I just do that?" I'm like, "This is not good." And I'm like, "I hope she don't jab me because she's still working on me." I'm like, "Uh-oh." But yeah, look at old bear. Old bear wife, I love you to death, but I was so embarrassed. I was. I didn't mean nothing by it, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Brian's laughing. No, Brian, you should have been there. It was awful. Anyways. She's laughing. Induction.
Okay. I've had so much fun tonight. I don't want to end the show, but it's been over an hour.
But stop and think. We are two peas in a pod, and
Basically.
we really don't get to unwind.
No.
And this is how we are when we are together, right, ladies and gentlemen? And it's big question: is One going to be there? Is One? It's One. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. She's trying to work on some things and see. She's never been in the woods. She don't like bugs.
We can be scared together.
And she wears stilettos.
Grizz, there you go. Young lady. We would love to have you come to Salt Fork in Ohio with Grizz. You do not have to worry about being protected because you will be vastly protected from everyone that's there.
Do they have hotels there?
Do
they have hotels there?
No. I guess I could sleep out there in my truck, and you can take the bed in the camper with my wife.
Thank you.
What the hell? Why? Wait a minute. Why do I always have to sleep by myself?
Grizz, I love you, but not in that way, okay? So just sit there and be quiet for a minute.
Pepe Le Pew, I love you so much, baby.
We would love to have you come. If you have, if he gives you any flack, smack him in the back of the head and say, "I'm going," and he'll listen.
She's already did that. I didn't know what a melon slap was. Somebody's like, he needs a melon slap, and she did it. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? We're live. It's not funny.
It is funny.
But you're invited.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
You are invited.
I have 3 dogs, though. Are they invited as well?
I don't care. They're riding in his car, not my truck.
Make the doggies. Yeehaw.
You never know. He may have to go out and buy a camper before then.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I mentioned he has to buy a hotel.
Oh, no. When you Bigfoot, you don't go to hotels.
Did you see him? He's like, huh? Hotel? No, you don't go to hotels.
I mean, there's there's showers. I mean, we can go right over to the park, take showers. There's going to be good food, good company. You'll be well protected.
Well entertained.
Oh, yeah, especially whenever me and Grizz get started on each other. Yeah, that'll work.
Huh? Yeah, we take showers.
Yeah. Daily.
Yeah, it's that outside hose stuck on the fence.
No, it's not. Don't let him lie to you. It's a
It's
shower house.
white.
They have shower stalls, and they're big enough, and they're made out of block, and it's concrete floor and everything. So you don't have nothing to worry about. Hot water too.
Electricity.
She's worried.
Well,
So-
Grizz has probably filled her head with a bunch of you know what.
No, no, I didn't. Hold up.
Yes, you
we
did.
were sitting on the back porch the other night, and I thought we were going to die. She was sipping on some wine, and she starts screaming and runs into the darkness. I couldn't get out of her damn rocking chair. I'm like, what the hell? She's like, I'm being attacked. It was a cave cricket.
Honey, we have a thing called DEET for bugs. You're nothing to worry about.
No.
Oh, Bear's like, damn, you Grizzly. You did it, man. Well, this show is going to be viral.
Uh-huh.
He's like,
But you don't have nothing to worry about. We'll take care of all the bugs. We have everything that's needed for that. Sit around a campfire at night.
And a private potty.
You can,
Like no bugs and animals are going to attack me.
right. We have a shower and a toilet inside the camper.
oh, yeah.
And
He does.
electricity so I can like dry and curl my hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got you covered.
Bear's like, I screwed up by inviting this one.
No. You're fine. I don't know what Grizz has told you about us, but we're not some backwood hick. We like the comforts of life. Grizz has probably told you that I'm some old country boy from the hills of West Virginia. I am from the hills of West Virginia, and I do know how to survive in these hills. But I have my wife, and she dictates to me that I have to have electricity, I have to have running water. She has to have AC when necessary, and she has to have a place to cook out of the rain.
You forgot
Oh, this one don't need AC.
Oh, what's that?
I mean,
the DVD player so we can watch movies.
Yeah, the DVD player. So
Yeah.
you're covered.
And a screen.
You're more than welcome to come. We'd love to have you. Somebody to keep Grizz in line. That'd be great.
why does it always keep me?
Thank you.
But that right there, people are gonna be writing into you, be like, "Did you know that on the show? Was that scripted?" Look at Shelby.
I get to keep them in line.
Look at Shelby. Oh my god. But I'll say this, and with all due respect, when I got here and I got food poisoning, and I was as bad as I was off, I don't know what I would have done, because she actually really did take care of me, and that was really embarrassing. Because I was down for days until she took me in the emergency room. And but no, we laugh because she's never done this before. I mean, she knows a lot of people in the Bigfoot industry
Mhm.
out in California, Washington
I
State.
even had my own experience.
Yeah, so but it'd be interesting to see this. And we'll be doing a lot of filming like we did last time. So Brian Barber stuff.
Yep.
But yes. Poor Shelby. I love you, Shelby.
Shelby, we'll be
Love you too.
we'll be the stiletto squatchers.
Yeah.
You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. But anytime you want myself to come on your show, I'd always reciprocate with you. You know that.
And me
I know
too.
that.
So, there's nothing that I would not do for you and your wife. And you know where you stand with me, not only professionally, but also as a true friend. And she knows this, and Shelby, you know this. I have a lot of acquaintances, not a lot of friends, and that's by choice. So when we talk about that, that means a lot to me and with our family, with Bigfoot Outlaw. And we kind of hold that special to our hearts. So, but thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's been my pleasure, and it always will be.
Invite.
So,
Oh, you got to try her biscuits.
Biscuit.
Her bit. No,
Oh,
her
yeah.
biscuits.
I don't do anything.
yeah,
That's your job.
Uh,
don't worry. My wife is a better cook than Grizz is.
I will love
And
it.
I'm not slighting Grizz in any way, shape, or form. He's a good cook, but she's a Southern cook,
I make a great
old
baklava.
fashioned. So
Great baklava.
come on, we're glad to have you.
that's awesome.
Yay. Thank you.
So we're going to end the show, and while I end the show, you guys hang out backstage, and I'll be right
Sure.
with you.
Okay.
And so I'm going to put you in the backstage, Shelby and
Okay.
Grizz.
All right, sir.
Anyway, everybody, thank you for coming. We've had a wonderful time tonight with Grizz and Miss Shelby. And now you know and understand the kind of friends that I have out here. I asked Grizz over 2 months ago to come on, and he didn't forget. He made sure he was here early, and so was Miss Shelby. And words do not do justice to my friends. They're more family than they are friends. Grizz is like another brother, and Miss Shelby's like one of my kids. And this little lady right here beside me feels the exact same way. So whenever Grizz is on, you guys go and watch his channel. Go subscribe to it. Yes, Grizz does different things than I do, but he also does Bigfoot. And he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's very smart. He knows about this stuff. And so we're going to end the show. May all of y'all have a blessed night. And each and every day that you are here on this earth, may you be blessed by God, our Creator. Thank you all, and bye-bye.